All right, hey, let's talk about the Manosphere people. A lot of these guys you hear on the internet, they make claims about being masculine, and um, basically the general sense I get is the more masculine are, the more you tend to vote conservative, or you're conservative, and then if you're more liberal, you're more of a soy boy weakling. Do you agree or disagree? Let's just go around the group.
Well, obviously, I think I disagree with it because I would be fall into the one of the soy boy category if that were true. But ultimately, something these dudes who only listen to Rogan and Andrew Tate and all these like Steven Crowder nonsense bullshit podcasts for all their information and their feelings of community. Fuck them, man. They're all pussies. Let's be honest. They're all really insecure dudes who who probably are incels and don't have girlfriends. And they just need to get laid. All right, go get some.
I don't think masculine is the quality that they all have in common. I think these guys are all simple people like that don't really have much like uh, intelligence. Actually, I think maybe maybe that's more of the commonality with them. I mean, uh, there's a lot of people I see on TikTok that are a lot of guys that are kind of like all masculine and they're talking about Trump, but their points are like completely whack and they're just like idiots. So I haven't seen anybody that's incredibly intelligent, who doesn't lie, who is masculine, um, that that's basically talking out on these social media platforms.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree. I think basically I get the idea that they're confused, and it's really they're more into the optics of being masculine than what actually being substantively masculine. And here's what I mean is that they talk about being like drinking beers and having cigars and controlling their women and a lot of like misogynistic things as well. Obviously they could get these women who have all these ideas that are maybe they're kind of lost, and they don't have these well thought out ideas. But what I see is that they don't really look into the actual right wing policies, and when you look at it, conservatism is what? It's just going back to tradition, not trying to change things, going with the flow, not going against the grain, not sticking up for yourself, basically just cucking to billionaires who give you money to do what they want. And then
Agreed.
I think more progressive sides are people who are fighting truth to power, going up against the status quo, fighting for equal rights in the face of extreme backlash. I mean, people always lift up Martin Luther King, but back in the day, in the 60s, you know, the majority of people were against him, thinking he was so controversial. So I would say look at the substance, look at the policies they support instead of just the optics of just, hey, I smoke a cigar, I carry a gun, but I can't really control my woman. I don't know how to get a date, and so I'm going to blame women.
A cosmopolitan journalist.
Yeah,
She, as an experiment, thought experiment, she only dated MAGA men
I heard
for
about that.
for 1 year.
Yeah,
And her ultimate findings were with all these men that she dated, these ultra right wing people,
yeah.
they were all incredibly insecure. That is the big number one common thread.
Yeah.
And they only got their information from these MAGA sources. And so it's like completely uneducated, insecure, looking for some kind of validation. And they only found validation through common grievances with other similar insular men.
Yeah, exactly. I think that they're just basically shitting on women, and they're looking at you can find women that are lost, right? You can find women that have not well thought out ideas, and you can put them on screen, and you can just break down all their points, and like some of them are saying, oh, they want non traditional relationships, and then at the same time they contradict themselves. They'll say like, oh, the man should be in power, the man should be the provider, but at the same time when they go on a date, they want to be able to just pay for half a date
Yeah,
sometimes, some of these
exactly.
guys,
So
another something like that.
okay, last word. What is our advice to these insecure dudes who need to shit on women?
Well, I don't know. Like, look inside yourself, I guess, and
Right?
I don't know, like, what to say to them. They're lost, man.
Yeah.
I think being a man or being masculine is more than just the optics, is what I'm saying. And so,
Yeah.
in order to, in my definition, masculine is having the courage to stand up to truth. It's caring about humanity, caring about others. It's maybe being a leader. Um, yeah, I don't think like, just supporting guns and carrying guns and shooting things just necessarily makes you masculine.
Of course. Agreed. And this is my advice to these guys. You know something? Do some push-ups, you little bitch. Just what is wrong with you, man? Just take accountability for once in your life. You're in your own shit condition because you put yourself there,
Yeah.
okay? Isn't that what being a man is about? Is like taking account for yourself and being responsible and trying to be the most decent human being you can be.
Exactly.
Okay?